Hello, people watching vehicle reviews on the internet. Welcome to this, the 2024 Nissan Pathfinder Rock Creek Edition. The Pathfinder has had quite a few identity crises in its lifetime, and now it's making a shift back to its roots. So today, we're gonna get up in the air, nerd out in the tech specs, see how it's constructed, and then go find a path. Some meaty boys. Oh yeah, that's exactly what I want to find underneath my off-road rig when I get a flat on a trail. A donut, okay. One of these things is not like the other. I will give this thing some credit though. It's capable of towing 6,000 pounds. Also got some little D-rings built into the Reese hitch mount. The 5th generation Pathfinder uses a multi-link rear suspension with an aluminium knuckle and upper link, steel lower links, and the Rock Creek edition is paired with a set of KYB dampers and a 5/8 of an inch taller coil spring for a lift. The spring isolator also might be adding to that lift because that is a really chunky one. At the heart of this thing's four-wheel drive system is the Magna Performax rear differential unit. It is a twin wet clutch type unit that is capable of torque vectoring left to right, and it does have a 4.3 final drive ratio. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but that rear anti-sway bar acts as a bash bar for your RDU. And that anti-sway bar measures in at just shy of 29 millimeters, huge. The R53 Nissan Pathfinder is built upon Nissan's D platform, and the Rock Creek edition you see here weighs in at only 4,605 pounds. Not terrible considering the size of it, and has a 56 to 44 front to rear weight distribution. The drive shaft's made by Dana Spicer. That's a massive muffler. That's not even allowed for carry-on, it's so big. It's made by Morelli. They're using some top shelf parts on this thing. Australian size beer can muffler. All plastic, no hairy cardboard. As far as the transmission goes, there is only one option available with the Pathfinder, and it is the ZF 9HP48 9-speed automatic transmission. It is a ZF manufactured in-house by Nissan and has a maximum torque input rating of 480 Newton meters, which is 354 pound-feet. A lot more than what this engine puts out. Up front, you have a McPherson strut style suspension, all aluminum in construction. Again, paired with a set of those KYB dampers and increased ride height coil springs. Front anti-sway bar measures in at, that's thick, 29 millimeter in diameter. Come on, Nissan, I gave you so much credit earlier. What'd you do? Why? Not only do you not get a real skid plate on an off-road edition, they give you a piece of hairy cardboard. Nismo parts catalog, please. Time for the braking test. No one behind me. Ready? Engage violence. Oh, jeez. Oh, I left some marks, I think. There goes all my shit. These tires are so chonky, you can just hear a roar when you're going down the road. And then when you engage the braking, they're a little soft. That braking was just made possible thanks to a 350.5 millimeter or 13.8 inch rotor with a 2-piston caliper. The wheels on the Rock Creek edition, they're an 18/8 with a positive 50 millimeter offset. That's just a black dot. It's not even a fake simulated bolt. Wrapped in a set of 265/60 Toyo Open Country AT2 tires. Plastic, good. The hairy cardboard out back. Out back, you have a slightly smaller 13-inch or 330 millimeter rotor with a single piston floating caliper, and the wheel and the tire are the same size, obviously, as you get up front. In the name of science, I shall now give it the beans. Bolstering assessment. It's actually got some bolstering to these seats. The seats are heated as well, and the climate control has got physical buttons. You don't need to go into the infotainment system to control it. They're cloth in the center, leatherette on the outside, orange stitching, as well as Rock Creek embroidered into the top. As far as drive modes go, there are a ton. There's a little dial in the center with some super cute graphics on it. Skipping the off-road modes for later, I can go from auto to eco to sport and to tow. Look at that little camper, that is so adorable. It does have an electric parking brake and you can turn the auto start stop off. Now as far as traction control goes, Nissan likes to bury that inside a menu in the gauge cluster. They don't want the driver to take control of their own vehicle apparently. Settings, VDC settings, vehicle dynamic control off. It's equipped with a force field. Oh, it's for all your safety stuff. I can also jiggle the diglet in the center console downward. And that was a sentence. And that will put it into manual mode where I have some flappy paddles in the back of the steering wheel that are made out of plastic so they don't burn your fingertips off. The hell does this do? Steering assist off. Oh yeah, keep that off. And I'm gonna leave it in manual mode for a change and see if I can be smarter than a robot. So give it a little assistance and let it eat. Ready? Go. Oh, all right. It was a tiny delay and then surge. Not bad. Its VQs sound good. That's good. It's teetering towards the quick side. Hi, Pop. I like this color. It's like mushroom. Color of a Goomba. No hood struts. It's not that heavy though. Nissan, please stop doing this. Paint underneath your hood. Jeez, that is a massive airbox silencer to quiet the Wookiee. Underneath the hood of the 2024 Nissan Pathfinder Rock Creek is the VQ35DD, which is an all aluminum naturally aspirated 4-cam V6 that produces 295 horsepower at 6,400 RPM and 270 pound-feet of torque at 4,800 RPM. What's special about this addition though is the Rock Creek gets 11 more horsepower and 11 more pound-feet of torque than all the other Pathfinder models. While it's had numerous revisions over the past couple decades, the VQ35 has been around for over 20 years now. This most recent iteration of the VQ35 features Nissan's Neo DI direct injection system, direct inject only, no port injection, and it does have EVTC, electronic variable valve timing on the intake cams, and then it's hydraulically controlled on the exhaust cams. It has a 96 by 81 millimeter bore and stroke with an 11.0 to 1 compression ratio. The plastic intake manifold flops over the rear bank of cylinders, which means any maintenance on this rear bank of cylinders is less than enjoyable. You'll have to remove the intake manifold. Comment below if you think Nissan should bring back the Xterra. I miss that rig. Preliminary off-road assessment requires a rally special stage. As far as off-road modes, I have snow, mud and rut, and sand. A cute little cacti. VDC off. It does not, however, give you any form of a locking diff. And let's see what this thing can do. Ready? Go. Oh, okay. Wow, those tires give it some bite. This thing's quick in the dirt because of that. Okay. Whoa, it actually got the ass end a little bit out. That's weird. I was not expecting that with a transverse mounted drivetrain configuration. I mean, it is long. That's what he said. Yeah, little flick of the tail right there. The robots are not being over intrusive. It's actually letting me have fun. It's fairly neutral too. Not a lot of understeer. Actually really good steering feedback in the dirt. That has a lot to do with these tires. Thing is fast in the dirt. Man, this is so good. Yeah, this scored up there on the rally special stage. Doing the super steep, really slippery hill that usually causes transverse mounted all-wheel drive configurations to fail. Not a lot of them have succeeded up this. Body on frame trucks, fairly easy. But I'm going to put this thing into, I think sand is most appropriate because it is hard pack with loose granular sand on it, so it's really slippery. And traction control VDC is off. I'll leave that off. Whoa, this
thing's got trail cams. Are you serious? I just reviewed a $70,000 Jeep Rubicon and it didn't have trail cams. This thing's $30,000 less and it has them. It's like, got a tire review so you don't curb it. Mud. I don't think that does what I think it does. I'm not giving this thing any momentum. We're gonna start from a dead stop at the base of the hill. I only got 7.3 inches of ground clearance. That's the Achilles heel of this Pathfinder. It's like over an inch and a half less than the Crosstrek I just reviewed. It's trying. And that's it. That's all it wrote. I mean, to be fair, I started at absolutely 0 mile per hour at the base of the hill. Let's try mud and ruts this time. There's no low range. That's another downfall. I'm gonna try manual mode for the transmission. And yeet. Come on. Oh, it violently just quit. It was like, no, we are not doing this. The all-wheel drive system is not up to this type of stuff. This is way too aggressive, which is ironic because they put a super aggressive tire on it. This thing is literally called a Rock Creek. I think you know what has to happen next. This is something plausible that could happen in real life if you own one of these anyway. You never know when you're gonna find a bunch of rocks to drive through. I'm gonna put it in mud and rut because that has nothing to do with a gravel pit, and let it rip. Whoa. That was unsettling. I thought I was gonna get stuck for sure. Now it's just kind of floating like a jet ski in seafoam. It's picking up traction now. These tires are what's up.
I mean, I guess a stuck-up journalist could complain because it's got a bunch of hard plastic, but it's supposed to be an off-road model, so that's what you want. These captain's chairs are awesome.
These are legitimately nice seats. Like, it's leatherette on the sides and the cloth in the center. I love that cloth in the center. I got my own climate control back here. I got some USB, USB-C. There's no heated seats back here, but for the price, that would be a reach. Metallic piano black center console, deep cup holders, little storage area. It's got rubber floor liners back here.
Whoa! They slide too! Dude! I lift up the third row seats.
Let's slide this. Maybe I'm old school, but I think it'd be sweet if I had little jump seats from the sides back here.
These recline in the third row because they're really upright. Oh, they do recline.
I mean, I'm 5'11", grown-ass adult here in the back seat, and
this is not bad. I actually have reasonable room back here. There's some cup holders back here. There's 4 cup holders. Why do you need 4 cup holders back here?
Got my own vent. There's even an airbag in the D pillar, as well as the C pillar. The storage space behind the third row when the seats are up is not abysmal.
If you listen, it's got the little soft close electronic feature. And the Pathfinder isn't exactly whoa, there's a giant cubby under here. It's not exactly a small vehicle anymore, so what the hell is that? There's a hidden compartment for the jack and the tools. It's a pretty deep compartment. You could use that as a cooler. Does it have a drain? It does have a drain. You could use it as a cooler. This is actually well made. It's got plastic composite hinges. This thing's composite and the fabric is nicely stitched into it. You actually have to use your arms to shut this. You can't be lazy. And it's got robots that suck it down.
Throwing serious Xterra vibes with this roof rack. With how excessive new car prices have gotten, for this being a $43,000 vehicle and looking this nice on the inside, that's impressive. Rock Creek embroidered in the armrest, it's leatherette. Flat bottom steering wheel. The front seats are full power. There's a little hidden storage cubby since there's no transmission in the tunnel. Rock Creek all-weather floor mats. The bass stereo is actually impressive considering there is a premium option above this one. This is genius. On the passenger side above the glove compartment, there's this deep shelf with a rubber grippy area that says Pathfinder for you to put a smartphone or two. Well, that's shaped like a phone. That's shaped like a chapstick. It doesn't matter how much money you spend on a vehicle, this area is always cheaply made. Neat. EQ sounds good. Can't deny that. Nissan did not build a successor to the Pathfinders of yesteryear with the Rock Creek Edition. This thing is not a rock crawling, body on frame true off-roader. But what they did do is make a strong competitor. Listen to that thing roar for something like an outback wilderness. This is definitely path capable, and it's fast off-road, especially with these tires. It is kind of like a big rally wagon. It's smooth off-road too. It absorbs these massive bumps, and this is really bad washboard right here. You can hear it. It's not loud inside the car, it might be on camera, but it's smooth. This thing at 43 grand with everything you see here is a steal compared to how expensive most cars it's competing against are. I'm thoroughly impressed with this thing in that area. While it's a letdown to me if you compare it against what a Pathfinder used to be, it does open the door for a reason for them to make the Xterra come back. A benefit of this thing being essentially a glorified off-road minivan is the fact that the fuel economy is okay. It's not terrible for how big the vehicle is. A good indication if a vehicle is gonna last is look how many of them are 20 plus years old, beat to crap, owned by people that don't care the slightest bit about their vehicle. It's literally falling apart while they're driving it, and it's still out there. A lot of them are Nissans. So say what you will about them, but they definitely build some cockroach-like vehicles.
It is now time to give this thing some scores, starting with the beans score, the assessment of the feeling you get in your gut when you give it the beans. And Pathfinder Rock Creek gets a rating of. Next is the cookie score, the assessment of value, and this, as equipped in the low 40s, gets a rating of not bad. Not bad. Followed by the wrench score, the assessment of ease of maintenance, and it's getting a rating of. Next is the meatball score, it's the assessment of off-road capabilities, and the Rock Creek Edition Pathfinder, these raindrops are freezing, is getting a rating of. Why are they so cold? It's not even cold out. Lastly is the penguin score, the assessment on how much I personally like a vehicle, and I just want to see the Pathfinder return to a body-on-frame truck. If they gave us the Xterra and this remained, I would be okay with that. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see you soon with another. Bye!